First of all, Mark, another intriguing day's cricket.
Absolutely. I think from a neutral perspective, very intriguing. Lots of wickets. If you bat positively on the wicket, you can score runs as well. So very exciting, but slightly behind the 8 ball at the moment, but a good gaming prospect for tomorrow.
Mark Robinson felt last night that Middlesex probably got 60 runs too many in their first innings, and that could be a pretty good call, because it looks like a tight game.
It does, and it was a big swing. I mean, obviously they put on a couple for the last 2 wickets, so that obviously hurt us a little bit, but Ben Brown played very positively, and so did Luke, and that's our intention. I think we still obviously need 4 wickets. We'll try and get those 4 wickets in the morning, and then chase, and I think we'll be positive in the chase as well.
Talk about the story of the day, because unusual to see Ed Joyce get out like that, and I guess that was a blow early on.
Oh, huge blow. I mean, it's to play a shot like that and get out to it is pretty extraordinary. I've never seen anybody get out like that. Well, I have, but not too often. So yeah, I mean, that was hard. It was a tough way to start the day, but I thought we fought hard. I thought they bowled particularly well. Certainly Finn down the hill, Roland Jones down the hill bowled well, but Brownie counter-attack was really good, and we tried to get up there to 200, possibly 220, but just short.
And what about your night watchman, Steve McGoffin, because he batted pretty much through until lunch?
He did. I mean, he bowled all day and he batted all day almost, and then he had a bowl again. So hats off to Steve. He's obviously had a good 2 days and fought his corner as we asked him to do. You know, he really did get stuck in. The ball was flying around and nipping off the seam and stuff like that, so he played particularly well.
We wondered whether Azmal or Shazad would bat. He did bat, but he obviously hasn't bowled. What's the extent of that injury?
It's a grade 1. It's a grade 1 tear of his pec, so which obviously isn't as bad as we first thought. So I think a couple of days, possibly 5-6 days, he'll be fit again. So a pretty unique injury in many ways as well. So he was struggling to play any shots. He could only defend really, but he fought his corner as well.
So in terms of grade 1, that's okay, and higher is bad.
Absolutely. Grade 1's not too bad. Grade 3's bad.
So what it meant was, when Middlesex came to bat again, that Ed really needed to juggle his bowlers around, and that's a big ask with 2 relatively inexperienced bowlers.
Definitely. I mean, that was a challenge, obviously, when you have a bowler down, a very experienced bowler down in Azmal. You know, it makes it tough, and I thought he did particularly well to get the bowlers on at the right ends, and I think the weather here at the back end of the day probably helped us a little bit, because we can refresh and get the bowlers fresh, and they can go again tomorrow. So I think it's helped us a little bit, and we'll certainly be doing everything we can to knock them over in the morning.
Now, sometimes there's a turning point in a match, and I wonder if it might have been the run out of Nick Compton. Can you tell us who the fielder was?
That's Simon Harmey, someone that we've got down. We just want to have a look at as an off spinner. He's playing up north in the leagues, and Robbo met him on the A tour, so we get him down. And he wasn't actually going to be 12th man, but we've had a couple of injuries and stuff, so we forced him into the 12th man role, and he did us a prat, didn't he?
Well, he did. Now, I've been told this. So he's a South African, is that right? Or?
Yes, he is, yeah. He's played Test cricket, so I mean, you should know that, really.
Oh, we should, yeah.
He played against
Steve
the West
Hollis did, but I didn't.
He played against the West Indies last year, got 7 wickets in the Test match. So he's a good off-spin bowler, catches a slip and can bat, so he's a good cricketer.
So someone you're having a look at for later on in the summer? Or?
Possibly.
Move on from that. Let's have a word about Mike Yardy's catching in the slips. 5 in the match, and an absolute cracker of a catch to get rid of Adam Voges.
Absolutely brilliant. I mean, that could also be seen as a turning point. I hope it will be a turning point, because that's obviously a really big wicket for us. And I mean, we all saw a great catch.
And important to see Mike Yardy back in the side, but you know, 5 catches in the match says an awful lot, and you know, just doesn't like dropping them.
No, he doesn't. I mean, I think any slip catch, when you're on form and you feel confident, you catch well, and he's certainly on form and feeling confident. So to catch the ball like he does is a pretty special effort, and you have to catch those balls as slip if you want to win games. How's
this match set up? So 203 Middlesex ahead tonight, 4 wickets in hand. You said it's perhaps worked in Sussex advantage, this sea mist coming in.
I think a little bit. As I said, we're a bowler down, so I think we'll have time. The bowls will get strong again. Steve's obviously bowled a lot, so is Ollie, so we'll get them nice and rested overnight, a bit of rehab and stuff, and they'll go in the morning again.
And realistically, what's going to be a tough ask to chase on here? Is 200 already a tough ask?
I think it's going to be a challenge. You know, we're going to be positive. We're certainly going to be positive. So I think that's going to help us, because our mindset will be going out to win the game. I don't think you can. You know, you're going to have to be brave on that wicket as a batter, and we're going to have to put the bowlers under pressure, because if you just try and sit in there, I think it's going to be hard work.
And what about the wicket? I mean, is it a good county championship track? I mean, it's been exciting cricket.
I think very exciting. I mean, I would say that there's possibly a little bit in the bowler's favour, but I think if you bat well, like you've seen people bat, Brownie batted particularly well on it. Righty for his 25 played quite well. So I think if you're positive and you look to go at the bowlers, I think you can score runs on it, because the ball certainly comes onto the bat. So I think a challenging wicket as a batter, but certainly a very exciting wicket to watch.
How much of a concern? It's becoming a bit of a crisis now in the fast bowling department, Mark.
I know we've had a few injuries. I mean, it's what can you do? You know, it happens. Obviously, Jimmy Anion out, had an operation. We've got Hatchie who's struggling to come back. Ajmal's obviously just got injured. So a bit of a challenge for us, but that's why we have a big squad. You know, we've got to make sure that the people that come in do their job. Ollie's been a revelation to come in and do what he's done in the games he's played, so it's really good to have him on board.
And final word on Ollie Robertson, because he came in at Durham a couple of weeks ago now, made 100, took 4 wickets. He's taken, 7 wickets in this match?
Yeah.
An inspired signing.
Very much so. I mean, he just looks a cricketer that's not really phased by too much, and he comes on and does his job. And I think on a pitch like that, if you just hold line and length, you're going to be in the game, you know, because it's certainly enough to bowl into there. And he just kept it simple.